Now we're going to dimension the machine-based drawing. So we have to select the dimension layer. And then let's start with this circle, so diameter of this circle, and we have two of them, so we say 2 times diameter 0.5. We can type in dim dia for dimension diameter, or select the diameter option from the annotate menu, so diameter. Okay, and then select the circle, place the diameter dimension right here. Notice that here we have center marks, but the center marks shown on the drawing on the handout show a line style. So we can fix this problem by going to the Dimension Style Manager. The standard dimension style is selected right now, so we're going to click on the Modify tab and go to Symbols and Arrows, then select the Line option. And also, let's check one more thing. We want the dimensions, we want to suppress the zeros before the decimal numbers. So we go to Primary Units, and in the zero suppression section, select the leading zeros and say OK. Set current close. So that way we have a center line instead of center mark. Also, here we have 0.500 rather than 0.500. And then we want to edit this dimension. We can either double click on it and type in 2 capital X space diameter 0.5, or we can use the ed command like dd edit or ed to edit the text. Here we need to have another dim center, so we just type in dim center and select the circle to place another center mark on the center of it. Also, dim center to place center marks on these circles. Then we're going to use dimension linear, but before that, let's take care of the dots, all the diameter dimensions. So here, if I select the diameter here from the annotation diameter and select the donut, it will not show the correct diameter dimension because it is pointing to the center of the circle. So if I place it here, you see it's pointing to the center of the circle. So to avoid this issue, what we can do is draw a circle and turn on OSNAP or F3 to pick the center point, and for the radius is 0.125, and now dimension this circle, so diameter, and then select dimension the circle, and then we have to edit it. So on the keyboard, use the right arrow, space, red dot. Then here we have few more negative cylinders that should be dimensioned with diameter. So diameter, and we have 3 of them. So we just say 3 times space diameter 0.25. And now we're going to do some linear dimensioning, and we can offset 3/8 or 0.37 5, this line to here, and this line to here, this line to here, and let's do this line to here, and this here, this here. Depending on the dimensions shown on the handout, we have to offset the lines 3/8 so we can place the dimension lines uniformly. So here, and then offset one more time 3/8 from here to here. Okay. Now, dimension linear is right here, or we can type dim linear, and then pick the endpoint, and then pick the quadrant anytime you want to dimension the distance using dimension linear. Pick the quadrant of the circle, and here we're going to pick the dimension text and pick the midpoint to place it in the middle. Then dimension linear from here to the midpoint. So we're going to pick the endpoint of the center line and pick the endpoint here. Then erase the reference lines. And there's another dimension that we have placed on the object. We should usually avoid placing dimensions on the object, but here, to avoid confusion and to avoid crossing all the object lines, we simply draw the dimension right here where there is appropriate place. So select the text and place it right here. Because we should possibly place dimensions off of the object. And in this case, I would select the number, the dimension 2, and place it right here. Okay. Then here we have, oh, by the way, dimension radius of this arc. So we want to use dimension radius, dim radius or dimension radius. Click on the arc or the round corner and place the dimension here. Now I've noticed that when we use dim radius, it will place an arc and extension on the drawing. To avoid this, we can select the dimension, right click, select properties, and then where it says extension line, right now extension line is turned on. If we select off, the off option, it will remove the extension, but we want to edit this dimension individually, so we have to select it, right click, properties, and then where it says extension line on, we should select the off option to remove the arc, so it looks good. And here we have this dimension, checking to see if we have everything. Then dimension linear, and we want a dimension from this point to this point, place it right here, and from this point to the end point, place it right here. As we can see here, the arrows have been placed inside, but here the arrows are outside. So we can select this dimension and right click, select precision, change the decimal numbers to 2 to make it look like the handout. So it is common in mechanical drawing to have dimensions with 2 decimals for some features, dimensions with 3 or more decimals for some other features. Then dimension linear. We want to dimension from here to here and place it right here. Also, we can dimension from here to here, place the dimension right here. Then since we have the arrow here, we will have different spacing for the last dimension line. So we are going to select dimension linear, move in so we can pick the corner of the object and not the extension line, and the corner, and place the dimension right here. Here we can erase the reference line, and we need to edit this dimension. Right arrow, so times 45 degrees. Symbol, we can insert the degree symbol using the symbol option, or we can type in %d, which is the code for the degree symbol. Notice here that the extension line should not cover the object line, so we're going to select it and pick the endpoint. And then there is another dimension here, linear. So we're going to pick the midpoint, perpendicular, and place the dimension right here for now. And then if we go with cursor, select the dimension. And if we go with cursor on this dimension value and select move with leader, we might want to turn off F8 so we can place the dimension where we want. Okay. Then we have a few more here. Notice that here we have tolerances. So for this reason, the last dimension line, the spacing between the first dimension line and the last dimension line will be a little larger than 3/8 or so. So we select dimension linear, pick the endpoint, and pick this point, place the dimension right here, and then we can use dim continue, and then pick this point to draw this dimension. Then this dimension indicates tolerances, so we have to include the tolerances in this dimension. We can select, right click, select properties, and just close all the dimension properties options until we see the tolerances. And here right now tolerance is showing none, so it has different options. If we select the deviation, so the tolerance for this drawing, the tolerance type is deviation, and then we can enter the lower limit and upper limit, and it AutoCAD will show the tolerances on a drawing. So deviation, lower limit is the number with the minus sign, but we don't need to type in minus or plus minus sign. So just 0.002 for lower limit and 0.005 for upper limit will show it right here. Notice if I select different tolerance types, for instance, symmetrical will show plus minus and then just one tolerance, and probably the upper tolerance it showed. So it has different, there are different tolerancing options available that we can select. So if I select this and select deviation, then for lower I have to change it to 0.002, so I have correct numbers indicated on my drawing. Then of course we need to show the entire length, and I see that we have to move this drawing up so that we don't cross with dimension linear this dimension. And here we can place the dimension here, but then select the text and move it up. Turn off O3, F3, O snap. And here we need a little more space. So in any case, drawings should be dimensioned clearly, so the manufacturer who wants to build the object doesn't have to look for dimensions, and dimensions should not place on the top of each other, should not overlap the drawing. Dimensions should possibly be kept off of the drawing, and the drawing should be dimensioned uniformly. So here we have a few more and then we'll be done. So linear, we wanted dimension, so F3 to turn on OSNAP. Dimension the distance from here to here. And remove the reference line, delete it. Linear from here to here. And from here to here, delete carefully the reference lines and edit this dimension. So we can either double click on the dimension to edit it or use the ED command. 45. And now I would like to show you the code. So %C, %D actually for degree, I'm sorry. %C would be diameter. %D is used to place the degree symbol on the drawing. So let's check if we have everything here. We need to use dimension linear option to dimension from center to center here, and offset 3/8 from here to here and from here to here. So dim linear, from here to here, and from here to here. delete the reference lines, place the text in the middle, and move this text, because this is too close to the extension line, down a bit. So we're almost finished. We have drawn all the dimensions required and edited dimensions. We have learned how to remove the arc. All we need is to select, right click, properties, and here under lines and arrows, extension line should be turned off. If I turn it on, you see it will place an arc here. We don't want that, so the extension line should be turned off. And in order to dimension the donut, we had to draw a circle around it to dimension the size of the circle, the diameter. And now that we are finished with the drawing, we are going to switch to layout 1. And then notice if I just click here, nothing happens. So I have to click on the paper tab to switch to model space, and then select, maybe center it first, then select the scale 1 to 1. So if you see your dimensions are not within the border, what you should do is switch to model tab, maybe move the sectional view a little closer, and here we can bring this dimension closer, turn off ortho F3, and then switch to layout 1 to see if the drawing looks good. Everything is inside the border. The drawing is centered, and then the scale is 1 to 1. Then lock the scale, so when we zoom in, zoom out, the scale doesn't change. Then we are still in model space. You see the viewport is activated. In order to edit the title block, we have to go back to paper space. So we're going to click on model, on the model tab, to switch to paper, and then type in ATE, enter, select the title block, and enter the title, machine base, drawn by your name, class ID CAD 2170, class time, our class time is 11. Today's date, please enter the date and not just F 2012. Enter the current date. So for instance, today is 09 22 12, and type in 12 and not 2012, because otherwise the text will be placed on the next box, and we should just remain inside of the indicated border. Enter the scale. This is full size, so 1 to 1. What is the drawing number? 05. Okay. So your drawing looks good. Always do zoom extents before printing. You can either double click on the middle mouse button or type in Z, enter, and select the E for extends option. Set the layer to 0 and then save your drawing. I'm going to save it as a different name. You should save where you started your drawing. And this is going to be my second part. And we're finished with this drawing.